I really felt more, they want to talk.
Keep that thought. All right. Come on, Red. It was during COVID. I went to a lot of stores and there was no eggs. And everything I learned just like rushed me. And I drove out in the middle of nowhere and I bought chickens, and she called me and she was kind of upset because I had been gone at this point like for 4 or 5 hours. And she was like, "It's COVID, where are you at? What is going on?" And all she heard in the background was chirp, chirp, chirp. So once we were deciding to do this, I kind of went through this phase of, man, I'm crazy. You know, like, I must be crazy. I'm a black man trying to start a farm. And I remember I was sitting down with an older cousin of mine, and he began to tell me about my great-great-grandmother, who I had never met. Lo and behold, she had a farm. And I found out about it while we were going back and forth in negotiation with this guy for the farm. Because I began to question, you know, whether or not, you know, I'm thinking about retiring from basketball, giving it all up and doing this. And this was during the time of COVID, and he told me about that, and I called my grandmother, and I'm like, "Look, I know it's COVID, but I gotta come talk to you. I need you more than ever right now." So we had like a 6-hour conversation. It seemed like 2 hours, and she just told me everything about my great-grandmother and her past and everything, and that was the deciding factor. It's in my blood, I guess. But being able to give this opportunity to kids, and not only that, but bringing in the sports aspect of things into farming, right? They go together. To be a great athlete, you gotta know what you're putting in your body, where your food is coming from, and what better way to know that than to be connected to where it comes from.
I personally did not grow up at a farm. Actually, I'm from Oklahoma City. And even though that sounds like farmland, there is not much farmland in Oklahoma City. And so a lot of the kids that we serve and talk to now would have been what my experience was like growing up. A lot of kids come out here and they get to experience where they realize how much control they have to see this environment and be a part of it. But then at the same time, they're like, man, this is different. Like, this isn't just a chicken at the store. Like, we're actually holding that animal. And I think that's kind of been the biggest, most beautiful part for me, is that I realized that would have been me, you know, at 12 years old, looking at those chickens saying, wow, this is amazing. So what I've learned out here on the farm about the land is that it is an exchange that happens, whether that's with the bees pollinating the plants or with us being able to enjoy the benefits of what's harvested, but also giving back, if that's allowing the pigs to regenerate the land, or doing cover crops, or learning more, so that we are not just like giving out to a community, but we're teaching the process of life. The kids are learning that when they come out here, and I think our society does a really good job of teaching us how to be consumers. But this opportunity gives them that chance to give back in a way that they can do that and process that at their age. I want like the kids to not have the answers, but start asking good questions. Yeah. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, how are we gonna take care of our families? How can we build a better community? And everybody's common ground is food. So I think it's a great place to start.
So in here is too many chickens and too many ducks. But we like this just because we can utilize what we grow and the extra stuff that we grow. We can throw it in here. The chickens will take care of it. They'll scratch it up and eat it, and then it'll give us eggs. We've been doing rotational grazing since we've started, but the pastures were really, really big. So they're rotational grazing, and they were moving every 2 to 3 days, depending on how much they ate. At that time, we had, only a few cows. So now we're taking all our internal fence down to cut down the pastures into small little paddocks so that we can move them daily. You're not keeping them in one space and then giving them a ton of feed. You're actually mimicking an actual natural life cycle for these animals, that the way they would live if they were in the wild. And that's important that they get that, right? Like God said, when he did what he did, it was perfect. So it's not up to me to try to go change it and put them in a confined area and just feed them grass in one spot. Now, to those who do that, that's fine, but we try to follow those principles as much as we can. Sustainability is more than just what you eat. Like a lot of kids that we deal with trauma, and you can have all this sustainability, but if you don't have sustainable thoughts and processes in your life, then it's nothing. So teaching them how to be sustainable in their mind and in their body, and then also be sustainable with what you see out here, the farming and what you put in your body, is huge for us.
So when we get athletes, I have my old teammates come out here, my coaches come out here, and at first they would ask me why, but when they come out here, they change their minds to why not.
Like, by the time they leave, it ain't no why not, it's when can I come back?
They're like, we need to throw events out here, because I think everybody at some point is looking for a place to rest. And farm life, if you can enjoy any moment in life, you're able to say, man, I like the rest that happens when you're in spaces like this. Yeah. So it's been a blessing to us, and I don't think that we regret like changing fields. It's just like we get to explore so much of life, and I'm grateful for that.
You're at Beulah Family Homestead, and I know some people are probably like, what does Beulah mean? Well, Beulah means marriage, and that's one of the things we teach the kids when they come out here. Whatever you do, be dedicated to it until death do you part. So it's one of those things that's lost, but that's where you're at Beulah. So everything you see around here, I'm married to, including this woman right here. So enjoy.